Hello, classic rock fans. I'm reporting live after the REO Speedwagon Styx Loverboy live and UnZoomed concert at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is part of their live and UnZoomed tour, which right off the bat, I gotta say, I know that is a Kevin Cronin idea. I guarantee I would bet my bottom dollar that it was Kevin Cronin who came up with the name Live and UnZoomed. Oh boy. Okay. Right off the bat, these three bands are classic rock comfort food. These are staples of classic rock radio, super recognizable hits, super accessible bands, and especially beloved here in the Midwest.
And you know, Styx is from Chicago.
I think REO Speedwagon is from Northern Illinois, and Styx is from the Chicagoland area. So we're not too far from their respective hometowns. Loverboy's Canadian, also not too far, all things considered. So not quite a hometown crowd, but getting there. But these are three bands that go together really well. If you're a fan of one, I'm sure you're probably a fan of the other two. So a great package deal. The first band of the night was Loverboy, which is appropriate. They had the shortest set, but they played about 8 songs, all of their radio hits, all of the fan favorites. The lead singer, Mike Reno, didn't struggle too bad, but there were some points, particularly in the song The Kid Is Hot Tonight, where you could tell he was really working to hit those high notes. But he managed them, and it wasn't like so bad that it was really noticeable for casual fans. I was paying attention because I haven't seen Loverboy in about 10 years, and I gotta say there wasn't really any visible decline. They were about as good as when I've seen them previously. This was actually the third time I've seen Loverboy. I saw him once in 2011 and once in 2012. So it's been a long time. Still love those songs. The opening of Turn Me Loose is just one of the it was definitely one of the best parts of the night. Working for the Weekend, of course, is a big crowd pleaser. You know, I hate to pick on the lead singer Mike Reno, but when you take a look at him and you're hearing Working for the Weekend, you might think of Chris Farley, not just because of the Saturday Night Live sketch connection there. But I don't want to pick on him. I mean, all that means is that he just looks like most of the people in the audience. But he can still sing really well, and the rest of the band didn't miss a note. So it was a good choice for an opening act. Styx came out next, and I have seen Styx 3 times before this. It's my 4th time seeing Styx. The last time I saw them was in 2017, which was, I believe, the last year they were still holding out on playing Mr. Roboto. So I finally, after years of being a fan of that band and after 3 times seeing them, now in this 4th time, I finally got to see Styx perform Mr. Roboto. Great song. I'm glad they've caved to fan pressure and added it to the set list. I've seen Dennis DeYoung do it a couple of times, which is, I would say, better. But Mr. Roboto is a Styx song, and Styx, the band, should have had that in the set list all these years later, especially because it has other Dennis DeYoung songs. And it just goes to show, if you keep writing those letters, you keep signing those petitions, you call your alderperson, eventually Styx will hear you and add the song that we need back in the set list. Now we need to get them to play Babe again. No, I'm just kidding. Babe sucks. I definitely understand why they don't do that. But Mr. Roboto, that's such a pop culture type of song that I really think it was a bad decision for them not to play it all those years. So I gotta say, I'm really glad that they played it tonight. I'm glad they're doing it now. They have been for the last couple of years. They looked like they were having fun when they were singing it, so I was also happy about that. And I gotta say, of the 4 times I've seen Styx, this was the best one because of it. As far as the rest of the set list, there was a couple of new songs from their new album, Crash of the Crown. I enjoyed the songs that they added. I will definitely be checking out the new album. REO Speedwagon was the headliner tonight. I believe they're switching off back and forth through this tour, but I'm not totally sure. And REO is great. I love REO Speedwagon. This was the 6th time I've seen them. First time I saw them was back in 2008. I have seen now REO Speedwagon more than any other band except for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. A funny observation about REO Speedwagon. I went to see them a couple years ago with a friend of mine, and he said that Kevin Cronin reminded him of some sort of Dana Carvey Saturday Night Live character. And ever since he said that, I can't not see that. Just how he talks to the crowd. Very silly, but in a very charming way. And it's a very wholesome show. He's a very wholesome frontman. He talks to the crowd so much between songs. And if you're not used to that, you might not dig it. But I've been seeing them for years. I love their music. I know his personality now, so I'm totally used to it, and I dig it. So ultimately, this is a really good package of bands. Like I said, it's classic rock comfort food. If you like one of these bands, you like the other two. So if you like any of this, yes, you should go see them because they put on a good show. You get bang for your buck. Now, I don't think we're in any danger of having any of these bands go off the road anytime soon. I know all of classic rock bands are getting to the age of retirement or beyond, but these are bands that tour every single year. They are still, at least visibly, in great shape for the most part, and they love touring, and they love seeing their fans. So if you miss them this year, that's not the worst thing in the world. They'll almost certainly be back. If you're not feeling this particular trio of bands, there'll be a slightly different trio of those type of bands next year. Maybe Foreigners in the mix, maybe Chicago, something like that. You know, there's usually maybe Don Felder, again, he's toured with them in the past. So Styx and REO love touring with each other. They've toured with each other many times in the past. I suspect they will continue to tour together in the future. Now, I bought my tickets for this show today. I bought them like at noon today. 2 weeks ago, I looked at what was available, and I saw huge chunks of open seats. And I noticed that basically the same seat I had at the last concert I went to, which was Kiss, also at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater, was available. And that was one of the best seats I've ever had at a concert. So I thought, oh, okay, that would be great to have almost the same seat for this show. But I saw so many open seats in the immediate area around it and behind it that I thought, I'll just hold off because I'm not 100% if I'm going to go. So this morning, I got up, checked the website. All of those seats were still available. But now, the price had dropped by like $15. So that made it very easy for me to pick the very same seat I identified like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I got the seat I wanted. I was up close, as close as I really like to be, if I'm being honest. And I got a discount on it because they were having trouble moving these things. And I would really make a note of that. And if you haven't bought tickets for this tour yet, but you're on the fence and you're thinking about going, that should be your strategy. Check out what's available. If there's big open chunks, make a note of where you'd like to sit. Maybe pick out a couple of spots. And then just check every day or every other day in the week before the show starts. Just hold steady until the last day. I almost guarantee there'll be a price drop. And I think for smart fans who are careful with their money, these are the strategies we got to employ, because the whole music industry is trying to make up for a year of lost revenue with, 2020 and, the pandemic. And I can understand that and I can appreciate that, but I absolutely do not appreciate them trying to do that immediately by gouging their fans right now. If you watch my podcast, you might have seen that I had Kofi Baker from The Music of Cream as a guest on recently. And his band is a mid-level band. They tour typically theaters. And a lot of this didn't make the cut of the interview because we were trying to be positive. But he told me that tour is not going well at all. They are canceling dates. He's not making any money. They're really worried about the future of the band.
I urge people, if you like live music,
Yeah.
get out and see it, because if you don't support it, it's going to go down. It's going to go under. And we're going under as it is. So Music of Cream won't be touring anymore if we don't get the turnout for the last 3 weeks of the tour. I mean, I can't afford to tour like this anymore. I hope this isn't it for live music. I hope this isn't going to be the end of live music as we know it, but it could be.
Mid-level acts right now are really suffering. So I guess I'll take a quick opportunity here to make a plea to my fellow music fans. I would really recommend going to all of the theater mid-level shows that you have opportunities to go to, because those are the bands that really need our support right now. If you love bands like Kiss and REO Speedwagon and Styx and, you know, the bands that are doing the arena shows, yeah, of course you can go see them too, but like, they're not suffering, at least not at the level of these mid-level bands. They might not make as much money this year as in years past, but they're not going to be sitting around a table discussing if they should end the band or not, which a lot of mid-level acts right now absolutely are. So when you're making your decisions, I would implore you to really consider how the mid-level acts are doing right now, because they need our support more than the big acts. And if you are going to go see those stadium shows, then do what I did. Buy tickets the day of after a price drop, because we got to fight back against this price gouging. At least the smart fans do, the ones that pay attention. Those of us that are being careful with our money, okay? Casual fans, they're going to get gouged. They're just going to go. They're not going to think about it. They're just going to buy their tickets and take whatever seat. Fine, let them. But for smart fans who are paying attention and trying to save money, but still trying to see their favorite bands, this is what I would recommend for this tour specifically. And other big stadium shows, I think that's a good plan right now too, because the stadium shows are not totally filling up. Some of the pop acts are, but whatever. As far as classic rock bands go, if you see big gaps of availability in Ticketmaster for tickets, hold steady. Wait till the day of, then buy your ticket, because hopefully by then there should have been a price drop and maybe you'll save some money. If you're on the fence about seeing the live and UnZoomed tour, yeah, I give it a thumbs up. It's total comfort food. It's not going to blow your mind. If you've seen any of these bands before, it's going to be almost the identical set list as the last time you saw them, but that's okay. These are really fun bands. They're really like family friendly. You know, this is, I would say this would be a nice night out with the whole family, but I gotta say, this crowd in particular, I didn't see many young people. You know, I saw Toto and Journey just a couple months ago, and there was actually a really good mix of like millennials and even people younger than that. But even though Journey and Toto share a lot of fans with Styx and REO Speedwagon, there were very few younger people in this crowd. This was almost strictly boomers. Maybe some Gen X second wives. But by and large, this was a really older crowd. And that's not a complaint. It's just a reflection of the fan base. And I'm a little disappointed that my generation and younger doesn't get into these bands like they do Toto and Journey, because I think Styx and REO Speedwagon are every bit as good as Journey. Okay, that's all I got. Thanks for joining me here. If you're a fan of classic rock, I would recommend you check out my podcast. It is about classic rock. Link in the description below. And aside from that, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter. Links also below. Please, find us there, and also subscribe to this YouTube channel. Otherwise, that's all I got for tonight. Thank you for tuning in, and keep rocking.